What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff with Living in Arizona, and today we're going to talk about Los Angeles versus Phoenix. I'm currently in Los Angeles. I've spent a couple days. As you know, I was traveling in Australia and New Zealand, and before that, I was in Southeast Asia. So now I come back. I spent a couple days in Los Angeles, and I've been here, 20 times in my life, maybe more. So I have a lot of experience with Los Angeles, but a lot of you guys want to know what's the difference between Phoenix and LA. And being that I've been here so many times and I just recently came here, I can tell you what it's like right now, the comparison. So the first thing that stands out is the people. The people in Los Angeles, I think they're just overwhelmed. They're dealing with so many people from all over the place that, yes, there's friendly people and there's plenty of friendly people, but for the most part, people are really on edge out here. I mean, they're uppity. They're like, they just don't have patience for anything because they're constantly dealing with people, whether it's driving on these freeways where they're just clustered. And in Phoenix, you get just this more laid back kind of vibe, and people are more friendly and easygoing, and you don't feel like they might bite your head off at any given moment. I mean, that's how it feels in LA, is that, like I said, there's plenty of friendly people, but it's really high. There's a lot of high anxiety here, I think, is what the best word is. And I could see why so many people are on pharmaceuticals, because when they get in this situation, they're like, what the heck is going on with me? Hey, thanks to the 3 people who crushed up the likes. What's up, Scott? What's up, Civic? I know it's President's Day. Some of you guys are actually celebrating the holiday, aren't you? I did make a video about Los Angeles on Island Hopper TV. If you guys want to take a look, I just went around to like 5 of the key places downtown. Downtown Los Angeles, especially towards the east, it's a no-go. It's a no-go. I mean, you've heard of places like I don't know what they're called, where they have the tent cities and everything, but here's why it's a no-go. It's unhygienic. It's disgusting. I didn't put this in the video that I made yesterday, but I did make another video that I'll probably post at a later date, showing you guys just what the conditions are in that part of Los Angeles. I mean, there's human feces right there in the middle of the sidewalk. You're walking by it, there's flies swarming all over it, and it's just sitting there. Like, who did that, like right there in the middle of the street? Then there's vomit in one corner. There's piss on the other side of the corner. And I apologize for using these strong words and graphics, but that's how Los Angeles downtown area really has become. And Phoenix just doesn't have that kind of problem yet. Hopefully it never gets there. But I mean, you'll be walking down the road and you'll see a puddle, and that's not water. That's not a leak. That's human. Okay. And there was a place I walked through just this little area in downtown, and I felt like there was just germs and bacteria in there, and there was people who were sleeping in there, and you could almost feel the disease like building in there. So it's and I think that's what really stood out to me about Los Angeles, is it's like, in the event of an outbreak, holy moly, this place is ground zero for just disease. So you know, it made me appreciate living in Phoenix and being like, man, we're so spread out. And where I live in the suburbs, I mean, you can get suburbs out here in Los Angeles, but I just felt like more secure and more safe knowing that I'm kind of out of it all, but I'm still in Phoenix. So thanks to the 9 people who crushed up likes. And we're going to compare more about Phoenix. I just wanted to get that off my chest, because that's what really inspired this video, was just the anxiety and the disease feeling that you get kind of in this big, massive metropolitan area. And that doesn't even include what's happened to Venice Beach. Venice Beach is the land of I don't know, you guys who haven't been to Venice Beach, go there and you'll be like, I got to get out of here. That's Venice Beach for you. But there's a lot of people down there. If you want to compare population, Phoenix metro area is thereabouts 4 to 5 million. Los Angeles metro is around 13 million. If you just compare Phoenix versus Los Angeles directly, Los Angeles has about 4 million people, Phoenix 1.5 million. So I mean, all in all, Los Angeles is 2 to 3 times bigger than Phoenix for the most part, even if you include the metro area. And Los Angeles is probably the first real megagopolis city. I mean, this city's huge in terms of area and landmass, if you really include San Bernardino. And even it's probably connected all the way out to Palm Springs. The thing is, Los Angeles is a place that probably couldn't take on more people moving here, but more and more people keep moving here. So it keeps on getting bigger and bigger. Even though people are leaving, it's still growing. You know, it's kind of weird. But yeah, so, and then in terms of cost of living, I mean, it's just so expensive here. You know, you get a house in Los Angeles where you're looking at on the low side, 5 to 700,000 for just a regular house, whereas in Phoenix you get that same house for $300,000. Food, it seemed like I'd pull out $200 cash out of the ATM, and I felt like that $200 in Los Angeles goes faster than really anywhere else. So that stood out to me. Was like, I was like, man, that $200, where did it all go? I was just like, just hanging out in Los Angeles is expensive. Yeah, Venice Beach is kind of crazy. Delia says,
Hello, housekeeping.
not right now, thank you.
Okay, voy a.
Okay,
Sí,
okay.
Sorry.
No worries. That was the housekeeper. Anyways, so where was I? Have you ever been to Virginia? Because I currently live here in Yorktown on the peninsula. Yeah, I went to Virginia. I went to Washington, D.C. and Arlington and all that just 6 months ago, 5 months ago. D.C. is another city. It's funny because D.C. is such a big political environment with a lot of wealthy people, but right there in the heart of downtown, right where the state or the nation's capital is and the Congress and all that, there's, it's just got all this homeless problem, kind of like what they have in LA. I mean, it's tent city all up and down here, right? Let's see here. Okay, so comparing some other things, Phoenix is actually a younger city, so more young people live in Phoenix than they do in Los Angeles in terms of education system. I mean, there is some pretty good education. There's UCLA out here. I mean, a lot of people want to get their kids educated there, but if you're going to go to college, it's still cheaper to go to school in Arizona than it is to go to school in or in Phoenix versus anywhere in the United States. But I think Arizona State University, you get a pretty good education there. In terms of weather, I would say the climate is really good in Los Angeles, and that's probably not going to go away. I don't know, the climate in Los Angeles, it does get into the hundreds. They basically have two seasons in LA. They have the rainy season and the dry season, and the rainy season is not a rainy season by any standard of the imagination. Phoenix, we kind of have a rainy season and a dry season, but we also have a monsoon season. So, I mean, that's kind of good. But the average temperature in Phoenix in the summer is what, 105 to 110? In Los Angeles, it's going to be like 95 to 100, So, in terms of the job market, I would say Los Angeles's job market is not that fantastic. I mean, yeah, there's some really good jobs here, and especially if you work in like media, it's probably a good place to be, or if you work in showbiz. But outside of that, I mean, the unemployment rate's lower in Phoenix than it is in Phoenix. And in fact, if you look at the future prospects for job growth, Phoenix is set to exceed a lot of is going to blow right past Los Angeles in terms of future job growth, and even the rest of the United States. So if you're looking to grow into a job, Phoenix is probably going to be a better place for you for a career if you can get in the right fit, because of the way the city's growing. It's growing with the future. So as the future is developing in the new industries and new technologies like Lucid Auto, electric cars, Lucid Motors, which is a competitor of Tesla, you're in the situation where Phoenix is kind of cutting edge. Los Angeles is kind of like so big, it can't even really be cutting edge anymore. So that's a big thing. Also, driving. I mean, to get anywhere in Los Angeles, it's so spread out. I mean, you got to drive so far over here. And yeah, Phoenix is the same way. You got to drive really far to get places. But I don't know, man. It feels like the traffic is crazy in LA. I mean, crazy. Let's see. I got some comments. LA has traffic starting at 5:30 until 9, until traffic until 11 on weekends. Yeah. My salary is higher here in Phoenix than it was in Los Angeles, says Scott. That's interesting. Surprise or Peoria, which is the best to live with a young family? Both are pretty good, Eric, but you might consider Peoria because it's just a little bit further out of town, and it's close enough to the 101 where you can get anywhere. Surprise is pretty good though. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I mean, if you're already set on the West Valley, Peoria probably. Civic says Virginia is somewhat lackluster for me. Just doesn't excite me like Georgia, Florida, Arizona, Texas, South Carolina. Yeah, Virginia doesn't excite me either. If there was another state that does excite me that's on that list, For me, the states that excite me are Florida, Arizona, Texas, um, Hawaii. But Hawaii is getting kind of out of hand. It's paradise. It's almost becoming a lost paradise, kind of like Los Angeles. Thanks to the 19 people who crushed up the likes. Pete Brown, Central Scottsdale. Yeah, so if you guys have any other questions about my experience here in Los Angeles, if you want to know more, you better ask right now while we're live, or I can try to message you afterwards on a comment. But LA overall, it's too anxious. It's too much. It's too much life. Even if you go to like Beverly Hills, you got to have big money to be over there. But even then, I mean, it's kind of chill. But that's like such a high rent district. Like, good luck trying to live there. And then if you live out in places like the far north in Santa Clarita or something like that, or the far south over in like Temecula, I mean, you're so far out of it all. Why even live in California at that point? You might as well just go save money and go move to Phoenix. Now, granted, people in Phoenix are like, no, don't move here. Don't move here. We don't need California to come kill off our state too. We don't need Californians. But I'm saying that if you're one of those type of people who understand what the Arizona mentality is, and you're okay with, just kind of chilling out and, getting in sync with the Arizona rhythm, you'll probably enjoy it. And that's who I'm talking to here, not these people who are trying to bring Los Angeles problems over to Phoenix, right? Because no one wants that. And I'm saying that's the big complaint. So when will Phoenix Metro become expensive like LA area? There is limited land in Phoenix Metro for growth. That's not true at all, man. Phoenix Metro has so much room to grow. Phoenix can grow all the way towards Wickenburg, which is out past Peoria. It can also grow past Buckeye, and it can also grow south towards Casa Grande. So this whole idea that Phoenix Metro doesn't have room to grow, who said that? Now, I'm not trying to put you down, Steak Burger Master. I'm just curious where you got that idea, because have you been towards Casa Grande? There's that whole area from Maricopa, Casa Grande, southeast Phoenix. There's nothing but, even where I live out in Santan Valley, I mean, there's nothing but room to grow out towards the Superstition. So we're not even close to that problem. And then Buckeye, where Bill Gates is building that smart city, I mean, there's tons of room to grow out there. Tons. I wouldn't want to live out there, but I mean, if you want to move out towards Buckeye, go for it. Thousand Oaks, Ventura County, and Orange County are very nice, affluent places to live in SoCal with great amenities and a job market. Beautiful too. It's not all LA. Yeah, I mean, north, yeah, you're talking Ventura. Yeah, I like it up there. Even towards Santa Barbara, Malibu, all nice. High rent district. I mean, you're still going to be paying 2 times more for a home, 2 to 3 times more for a home to live up there than you would maybe even in Scottsdale. Rachel says, I live in Thousand Oaks and it used to be nice. There are too many people now. Yeah, it's getting. Steak Burger Master, I drove all around AZ. I agree there's a lot of land, but I'm talking about most of AZ land being federally owned. Yeah, there's a point. So you're talking Phoenix, because Arizona has a lot of Native American and Indian reservations. So those are more or less like, we have the most Indian reservations than any other state, right? And Phoenix, if you look off to the east, you have towards Scottsdale, you have Fort McDowell, you have the Talking Stick Indian Reservation, that area over there, and then you have the Gila River Indian Reservation to the south. And you have Fort McDowell, you have what is it? Not the Tohono O'odham. I can't even remember all the I can't remember all the Indian reservations, but they were even talking about they're going to start developing that area of Scottsdale. So if you're driving up the 101, if you look east or if you look west towards Camelback Mountain, that's Scottsdale, right? We're talking 101 north, just past, like, I don't know, from Shea Boulevard south to the 202. But if you look to the right, remember, you're heading north, it's just empty land. You see Talking Stick Casino, you see the aquarium, but it's all just flat land, undeveloped. Well, that's because that's Native American land, and they don't develop it because it's all reservation. Well, they're having a conversation about possibly continuing to develop that, because what happens is, just like how big companies go offshore to get immunity from overtaxation or too many laws, these companies are wanting to build on Indian reservations because just like how they can build a casino over there, even though Arizona doesn't allow legalized gambling, they can go to a reservation and build a casino there. So what they're doing is they're talking about doing some of these things. Like that's why they built the aquarium there, because PETA is so aggressive and all these animal rights activists and stuff. And they had a problem with trying to build a marine mammal aquarium in the desert. That was like a big thing. So they built it on the Native American Indian reservation to kind of stay clear of all of the groups that could be coming towards them. So yeah, I see what you're saying, man. Steak Burger Master. How do taxes offer Maricopa versus Pinal County? Ooh, I'd have to really dive into that details. I don't really know yet. I know that where I live in Pinal County, we don't even have rural metro. Rural metro is the fire department. So so even though you might pay less in taxes, you're still getting hit with something, because it's like rural metro is like, do you want us to come to your house in the event of a fire? If you do, sign up for this extra. So I noticed that. You might be thinking that you're saving money, but then all of a sudden here comes rural metro. Then here comes the Pinal County Sheriff's Department asking if you want protection and pay them something too. So it's like half a dozen, it's like you might think you're saving money, but you're getting the choice. So you can decline rural metro to come save your house from a fire and not have to pay them. But, it's one of those things. All right. Pelham says, hey, just join the chat. Maybe you already answered this, but how does downtown Phoenix compare to downtown LA? So downtown LA has a little bit taller buildings than downtown Los Angeles. Like you have US Bank building in LA, which is one of the tallest buildings in America. Phoenix doesn't have tall skyscrapers. You'll notice that there's not very many tall ones. And one of the reasons they say is because it right there in the flight path of Sky Harbor. If you fly into Sky Harbor, especially from the west, you'll see you fly right over downtown. And so that's why they say, that was the one reason why they say we don't have high rises. Number two is they don't really need high rises in Phoenix because they just grow, in all different directions. So you don't need a city center like you have in Hong Kong or Tokyo, where you need to build up these tall city towers because you need city centers. Another area that's getting a downtown, like a second downtown in Phoenix, is Tempe by Mill Avenue, down by Tempe Town Lake. They're starting to build a lot more skyscrapers. But in terms of like livability, both are not very good downtown areas. They're not like the financial district of Phoenix and the financial district of Los Angeles are not very livable. Neither of them. There's much more of a homeless concentration in the around the Los Angeles downtown area than there is around downtown Phoenix. They're both, I would say at the end of the day, neither of them are livable. I mean, it's not like Austin, Texas downtown where you want to live in downtown Austin. It's not like downtown San Francisco where you live down there, although San Francisco has a major homeless problem also. Even San Diego's got a really nice downtown. If you're looking for a good downtown, like if you were to compare Phoenix to San Diego's got Phoenix beat by a long shot. But yeah, Pete Brown says Tempe looks booming. Yeah, Tempe just keeps growing and growing and growing. I've been gone for 2 months. I'm sure even if I'm being gone for 2 months from Tempe, I'll come back and I'll be like, wow, Tempe just grew some more. Whereas downtown Phoenix isn't having that gentrification or that growth or that development taking place like Tempe's having. So Tempe, all in all, is a really good place to live. The closer you are to Tempe, the better off you're going to be. You don't really want to live too close to downtown LA. You don't really want to live too close to downtown Phoenix. You want to be closer to like Beverly Hills or Wilshire Boulevard and in Los Angeles or Hollywood even. Well, I don't know about Hollywood, but in Phoenix, you want to be closer to Tempe. So that being close to Tempe includes Scottsdale, Chandler, Ahwatukee, Mesa, maybe Gilbert. Gilbert's a good place too. Tempe does have a lot of homeless. Every downtown area is going to have homeless in America. It's not like New Zealand where there's no homeless. Okay, it's not like Australia. Like you don't want homeless, go to Australia, go to New Zealand. They don't have homelessness. Like they don't have this pooping and peeing on the side of the street with drug addicts and syringes and stuff on the side of the road. They don't have that there. Well, they do. They might in like you can go there and you won't see it. In America, the first thing that these Japanese tourists say, or these Chinese tourists, or anyone from Australia or something is, whoa, that's dangerous in LA. Like there's countless times I've heard people say, LA is dangerous. We're talking Japanese tourists, people who come here and they say LA is dangerous. And there's not too many cities on earth that have that kind of reputation, like maybe Mexico City, Rio de Janeiro, Los Angeles. Those are cities that have that kind of reputation. But Tokyo, Sydney, Singapore, they don't have that reputation of being very dangerous places like Los Angeles. So it's kind of, and even if you talk to the locals about that particular issue of why Los Angeles has this reputation of being so dangerous, they don't like it. They don't like being a part of a city that's so dangerous. Or it's a national embarrassment in a way to a lot of people who live here. Thank you, Anna. Anna says, welcome back, Jeff. I'm moving to Phoenix area in 6 years when I retire. Do you think Southeast Valley is going to be the hot area? All of Phoenix is going to be about the same temperature. I don't know where in the Southeast Valley you're going to retire, but I'd imagine you're talking about Sun Lakes. Sun Lakes is the 55 plus retirement community in Southeast Phoenix. There's also Encanterra, which is Far East Phoenix. And then there's these, are you going to be in a mobile home park? There's a lot of mobile home parks where you get like 1 to 2 bedroom houses that are pretty nice in these really cool communities in like Mesa and whatnot. So, I mean, Southeast Valley is going to be no hotter or colder than Sun City. Okay. Michael says, or you can just go to Scottsdale. They don't have any to have any homeless. Yeah, Scottsdale is really trying to eradicate the homeless problem. That's why they don't want to build the light rail up there, because the second they put in mass transit, because along those mass transit lines, the bus routes and the light rail, that's where the homeless people kind of set up their tents, is because they can get around. They don't want to have to walk way up and down. Another thing that Scottsdale did is they put up a sign where it says, do not feed the homeless. If you want to give to the homeless, give to a nonprofit who's helping homeless people. So in Scottsdale, they have signs on the side of the road saying, do not give directly to the homeless. Reason they, you might be like, oh, that's so evil, that's so rude. Well, what they're saying is, what's happening is these homeless people, you give them $5, they go out and they buy more drugs. And then when they buy more drugs, that creates more of a problem. So whereas if you give it to a charity that's helping out homeless people, assuming it's not a corrupt one that's just pocketing 75% of its revenues, because we heard about that, right? It's better to just give to someone who already is helping homeless. So at one point, Richmond, Virginia was the murder capital of the U.S., says Civic Lexus kind of guy. Yeah, I mean, I was even talking to an Uber driver. He said that if you think Los Angeles is dangerous now, you should have seen it in the 80s and the 90s. Remember back when the Rodney King riots happened? Remember the riots of LA back in the early 90s? I mean, Los Angeles has never really been a safe place. And even if you look at most cities in America, America's never really been a safe place. I mean, it's never really been the case. And truth be told, we're probably the safest that we've ever been in the last 20 to 30 years. I mean, it's not like the 50s or the 40s back when you could leave your house unlocked right in the middle of downtown Los Angeles or something. Keenan says, I'm moving to Tucson in a few months. I've taken public transportation for the last 15 years, but or should I buy a car? I heard if you're moving to Tucson, there is no doubt you need a car. There is no doubt about it. You need a car, unless you really want to suffer. If you're moving to Tucson, you absolutely 100% need a car. This whole idea that you can live in Tucson without a car, unless you're just going to be going to the university. Are you going to be in the university? I mean, I guess that's cool. But if you're moving to Tucson, yeah, you need a car. If you're moving to Phoenix, you're going to need a car. Phoenix and Tucson are car cities. Even Los Angeles is a car city. Eric says, which suburb can you get the most bang for your buck as far as living lifestyle growth? Well, Santan Valley's pretty good, but it doesn't have the best lifestyle. Buckeye, you can get a lot of bang for your buck, but not the best lifestyle. If you're looking for the best lifestyle, probably, I always say Ahwatukee. And it's funny because I say Ahwatukee on this channel so many times, I think it goes in one ear and out the other. People are like, well, he just told me where the best bang for your buck is. I'm not going to check there. Because the name, everyone hears the name Ahwatukee and they're just like, I think they're even going to change the name of Ahwatukee, or there's some sort of merging that's happening between, it's like Tukey or something like that. They're going to change the name. But Ahwatukee, in my opinion, is number one in the Phoenix metro area in terms of price affordability, location, all that. So if you haven't already checked out Ahwatukee, I recommend it. And here's the thing. It's just off the fringe of Chandler and Tempe, but it's up against a mountain. So you get this like mountain, like you get like hiking right there, and then you get like right next to the freeway and pretty nice quality homes. I mean, it's getting older. Like a lot of the homes that they built right there are starting to age, but like in the 80s and the 90s, I mean, that was the real true hidden gem, like Drummer said. Bang for buck anywhere close to 101 and 60 access entertainment areas, Scottsdale, Tempe, Phoenix. No, I don't know, Scott. I saw there's some sort of merger happening with like, no, it was Levine. I'm sorry, it was Levine, and it was one of the cities. They're building like this new city, and they're gonna merge it between like the old city name or the two cities, and they're gonna like half them. I don't remember. I saw it like, and I was just like, it was a terrible name. Anything you try to half with Ahwatukee is just not going to work. Jubilee says, is Buckeye really bad? Buckeye's not terrible. It's brand new. I mean, Buckeye used to be the armpit of Phoenix, but they built a whole bunch of homes out there. Like 15 to 20,000 new people came out there to all these homes. So it all of a sudden became kind of nice, just a modern area. But there's still not a lot of things out there, but it's a slingshot ride down the I-10 to get to anything. And it's hot in Buckeye. Buckeye just feels like 5 to 10 degrees hotter. It's right there in the basin of like the Gila River Valley. You know, it's just right there on the Gila River, and it's dry. The Gila River is dry. Was looking at Scottsdale, but would be nice and safe place as far as west as possible. I need to be closer to San Diego, even if it's by 30 minutes. Thank you. I don't know, Greg. Check out Ahwatukee. Yeah, crime is really everywhere. Anyways, guys, thanks to the 35 people who crushed up the likes. Do you guys want me to keep going, or are you guys all done with your questions? Because I'm going to go get some breakfast. Anyways, guys, yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'll see you on the next one. I'm headed home to Phoenix, so I was gone for 2 months. If you haven't already seen my video of Los Angeles on Island Hopper TV, I made a video of Los Angeles walking around downtown. You guys can check it out. So we'll see you guys later.